Welcome to the Catherine Vandome and Me podcast.
Hashtag hosts and the HQFM quiz and bingo software are proud to sponsor the Catherine Vandome and Me podcast. With HQFM quiz and bingo software, you can use this interactive quiz software at any venue. All you need is an internet connection. Go to hashtagquiz.co.uk for your free trial today.
Hello and welcome to Catherine Vandome and Me. And today I'm joined by an incredibly talented guest who is a television actress and singer from Greece. It gives me the greatest pleasure to introduce onto today's podcast, Alina Kotsovoulou. Hello and good morning, Alina. How are you?
Hello. Hello, I'm very happy to see you. I'm very well, thank you. It's very, very nice to be with you today. I'm so emotional. I really miss you. I wish I could hug you. It's
oh,
really,
Alina, let's have an over the screen hug as we did earlier.
it's breathtaking. It's very emotional. It's been 25 years.
It has.
Yes.
And you haven't changed a bit, Alina.
You look amazing. And I've been following your journey and you look great, Cathy. You look amazing.
Well, Alina, that's very, very kind of you. And you look absolutely gorgeous. And I've also been following your career as well over socials. And I think you're doing an amazing job. And you look very well read because behind you, you've got the biggest bookcase I've ever seen.
I also have,
Wow.
That's Shakespeare, remember? I am trying to read. I don't read as much as I could. With all the social media and everything, you just get stuck on your phone.
Yes.
But I try, and I like it.
Well, I think you're incredible, and if you can just tell the audience where we met, obviously, and also a little bit about yourself, Alina, just a little hybrid of who you are, and then we're going to go right back to your childhood and find out all about the real Alina. Okay, here we go.
So we met at the Guildford School of Acting, where we both were very lucky to meet in a very international group of postgraduate diplomas in the musical theatre option, as I recall. So we were there for 1 year. And we got to see each other every day for 8 hours and even more because we had to practice as well. For me, it was a unique thing because I left my country. So I was in a foreign country with all these amazing talents around me, tutors, the school, and our colleagues, our friends, the fellow students, who in our group were, as you recall, from very different environments. I mean, all over the globe. Josh from the Philippines, Darren from the United States, in our Siga from Iceland, Maria and Vivica from Sweden, Jamie from Ireland, Mariangela from Italy. There were a few of English guys and girls like you, Nicole. I remember Canadian Matt as well. I remember all of them. We keep a small touch with, greetings and what's all,
social media. We do. We have a little social media link, don't we?
And I've seen Carl a lot of times when I visit London. We've met, and I've met him, and he's met my family. I've met his family. So we have had some. I also saw Nicole and Matt and Mark at one point. So I've tried to keep up with others, but it's not very easy when you come for 2 days in London and say, okay, can we have coffee? It's not.
Yes. But you're obviously very popular, Alina, which just shows what a lovely sentiment to you that you land in the UK and everybody meets up for coffee. It's like friends, isn't it?
We have a lot of links with the UK. My daughter's godfather lives there, and we have other friends as well. So I was very, very lucky to land in Guildford because I auditioned, we auditioned to many schools. I'm sure you did as well.
Yes.
And I was really happy to be in that family environment. Remember, it was like easier for me to have this transition from Greece. I was already working as an actress in the theater in Athens. I was classically trained. I studied at the Center of Ancient Greek Drama. That's why all the reading here. So I had a classical training. I also was going to a conservatory for classical singing and ballet and all the classic things. So when I met with the principal, who was at the time, I remember, Gordon McDougall, was that
Yes.
right? And I said, I wanted to go to the acting option at first. And he interviewed me after I passed, the second audition. And he said, well, you've done all this classical stuff and you've done singing and acting and you worked like an actress. So why don't you do musical?
Yeah.
So I followed his advice. And then I met Jerry Tebbutt. I've seen Jerry once.
He's amazing. He's amazing.
He's always there to help. If you need anything, if you ask any question about anything in the spectrum of the musical, anything, he's there to answer to you at any time. Jill as well.
And he's so educated as well, and an incredible performer himself. So it's his backdrop and his experience and his knowledge, and he's still there at the Guildford School of Acting. I think he's doing
us as well. If we need tutoring, and if I need to send, I do some coaching for students even to go abroad, and I've sent him students to see them if they he's there. He's a partner.
Yes.
From day one. That's amazing. So that was the environment that brought us together. And I really remember you, Cathy. I remember a lot of things about you, how vibrant a performer you are, how a tigress, how'd you say? Because you were experienced as well, as I recall. You had some experience in the show business in England. And you were also very good at dancing.
Thank you, Alina. Thank you.
I remember that as well. And I remember a lot of things about you. You were very nice. You were very together. And I'm very happy we're doing this right now.
Oh, Alina, well, that's very, very kind. And I also, because this is all about you, it's a celebration of you today. I remember you distinctly. You were a very strong performer, very, very, very talented, and a team player, and worked together beautifully with others. And you absolutely stood out as well. I mean, you took the lead in Fiddler on the Roof. You took the lead female, didn't you? In that, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, that was at the first term when I knew I was a good actress. Okay, I'm not shy about it. I know I'm quite strong character actress, but I didn't know how the British would perceive me. It's different in your country. And in Greece, we still have the thing of the teacher. We are at awe. We are students. So what really was different in Guildford is that the tutors were actually trying to make you to be an active professional and a colleague instead of a student. For me, it took some time to understand the procedure, to not be, oh, yes. And the first term, my assessment from Jerry Tebbutt and Martin Waddington was, Alina, you're great, you're very nice, blah, 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 but you're a student. But I said, yes, I'm a student here. No, you're not a student. You are a professional. You have to step up. So it was around Christmas that I started exploring myself differently. So it was actually the Brits that brought out my comedy character.
Yes.
Because I started exploring myself and being more active with my audition process, my audition techniques and everything. So I took a bit of more control. So what happened is we had Lucky Steve during Christmas. We have a lot of presentation, audition. We had to present, I don't know if we talked about it with other guests, that we had every week we had to present a song.
Yes.
Staged sort of, so which is very difficult. If you conceive it now, you need a week to stage a song and performing, it's not very easy.
I always
So
said it was very, very terrifying because
yeah,
I was learning to sing because I always got tonsillitis. I was learning to sing not from the throat, but
yeah,
from the lower part of the
yeah.
tummy. And as you're learning to sing, suddenly you lose your voice and you have to start again. And I distinctly remember one session, I was so nervous because you guys were all amazing. And I would nervously in the toilet await at the back. And then I once opened the door and said, "Today, Jerry, I'm going to sing From a Distance by Cliff Richard." Meaning,
Okay, yes. Have we said how you love Cliff Richards? I didn't say that. I'm sorry. Yes, okay. Cliff
I
Richard.
did.
Yes. So that's very correct, because when you sing, you think about the notes, the breathing, the punctuation, the articulation, everything. But then you have to act, which is a different. You have to think about the text, the character, the context. So it's two different things you have to combine in 1 week, in 5 minutes. It's
It's terrifying. And not
it's
just that, you're sat with your peers, which is
yeah.
us guys, and but it was like an adjudication. It felt like an audition process. And even though we were all supportive of each other,
It's good, but it's also nerve-wracking.
yes.
So audition technique. When Jerry brought us Fiddler on the Roof, which was, it would require a Russian accent, would be easier for me to tackle, and not a heightened RP or I don't know, Scottish or whatever. And I started working with Darren to help him with his piece.
Because he was playing Tevye,
Yeah,
and
he
just share
didn't.
what you were playing.
He thought he would get it, but he wasn't an actor. He had a huge voice, an amazing voice, but he hadn't had any acting training. So I would help him in his rehearsal to do his audition for Tevye. And doing that, I think, gave me the character of the wife and helped me. And I had from the great tutorials from Brian Husband, which was my tutor in voice. And we did I auditioned with the woman in Zorba the Greek. That was my audition song. I knew I done okay. I was happy with myself. I never imagined I would get the lead, because, okay, I didn't have this ambition, you know.
Very good. Ambition.
Yeah. So, but it was a great experience. Jerry Tebbutt.
Can I just say, Alina, you played that part of the wife perfectly. It was yours to play, and Darren Blank, who played Tevye, matching you, you were just incredible together. It worked, perfectly. It was just perfect. And the fact that you just said that you helped him with his characterization and his accent just goes to show just how gracious and giving and kind that you are, Alina, because you weren't just focusing on you were actually helping others. And
yes, okay, it's not help, we all worked in teams, we all helped each other. Okay, yes. And thank you very much. It was a very good production. What happens is, I seldom have found this quality. I found it in productions that I've been in Athens. Jerry Tebbutt directed it, and he knew exactly what he wanted, which is very important for an actor, to feel safe, secure, that all you have to do is learn your lines, learn your songs, do the choreography, and just be there. All the rest will be taken care of. We had, you remember, we had acting coaches watching us. We had this amazing stage manager. What was her name? I don't remember. Remember the girl with the
oh,
thingy?
yes.
Who used to be a dancer, but then went on to be a stage manager, director, assistant director. So it was a very unique experience. It was amazing. It was done in 5 weeks, which is very, very tight and very nice. It was very nice. It was amazing for me. And I got an agent from the performance. which was
Fantastic.
weird. That was weird. I was the first one to get an agent, probably.
Well done, Alina. That's incredible.
Yeah. So I didn't wait for the showcase for the agent. Well, but that doesn't mean that I had the best agent or that I was ready for what was happening later on, because I have a very nice story for later. So yes, Guildford was, for me, I have to mention Ian Ricketts, who has been a mentor, and
Yes.
I love him.
He's a lovely guy. Yes.
Love him. I miss him. I have some of his letters. I have his teachings. I try to live up to his spirit when I tutor now young children, adolescents, and future actors to be. The environment was amazing. I loved it. I loved it very much. I reminisce it. I have my notes. Now that I teach, I go back to my notes sometimes for a lot of things that we have done. So I have your names on lists saying Cathy did this with whom, So it's like this bond is not broken. We move on, but we had something. It was intense because we were all for a year from different parts of that. Even if you weren't from Guildford, you came from another place.
Well, I came from another planet. I came from Lancashire.
Yes.
So to be honest, Alina, my accent was harder for everybody to pick up than anyone else.
I know. And for me, it was a good training, because when you listen to different accents, your ear gets used to different sounds, and it's a training.
Yes.
But of course, it took some time.
You were just brilliant. And one of our classes was about phonetics, wasn't it? So we had to phonetically write down particular words, how they sound. I was the only one who was failing that class, and I didn't understand why. And I said, why am I failing these exams? And it's because you would say Bath, and that would be phonetic, let's say an AR, BAR, or other phonetic symbology. And of course, I'd be saying Bath. So the phonetics was completely different. And once I realised, and we all giggled as to why I wasn't, passing these exams, then I had to go back on it and learn to speak in an RP accent so that I could pass the exams.
You actually mastered the RP. I remember you had a very good RP accent.
Oh, thank you.
Because it's the ear. You have to retrain, the ear and the eye when you read it. What's there?
And we had ways to get the accent. So we had to hold the nose and mouth and say, the train arrived at platform 4. And there was classes like that. There was a gentleman, wasn't there, Alina, who one of the acting... Joe. And he could point at each and every one of us and not just tell us that we were from Greece or Ireland or Lancashire, but actually what part of that place.
Yes.
He was phenomenal.
That was very nice in Guildford. The professionals were everyone handpicked. There was no, everyone was top in their business. That was amazing. That was very, very. You remember Aisha?
Yeah. Oh, she was lovely.
Yes, let's. That's the yes, let's thing. Remember, said, shall we do this? Yes, let's. Which is a huge statement in life as well.
Yes, never saying no. So the acting was a character would say, shall we do? Let's all go and touch the wall over there.
Yes.
And the reply, yes, let's. And I used to, when I ran my own drama school after that, I used to play that regularly, because you're right. The same as doing live improvisation. If you say, no, thank you, you shut down the scene.
I can't do it. I don't want to. Why should I do this now? I have that a lot with students. Why should I do this like this? Why should I try it? Why? Trust me, trust the process. Please trust me, please. Yes. I'm like, oh.
Absolutely, 100%. And it's so lovely to hear. Your memory, I have to say, outshines everybody's. Your incredible memory of people's names and the classes is just phenomenal.
I have a good memory, and I'll remember more as we, I can, if we speak speak for a while, I go back to that time, and then it comes, naturally.
Just beautiful. And your accent is just gorgeous.
Which is, well, it could be better. If we speak every day, it will be better. But I speak Greek now every day. I don't use it. I do it sometimes if I do some voiceover work. I did, which I will tell you now. My brother directed an animated film. He wrote and directed, which is called Echo. It was for the pandemic. In the pandemic, like a very nice short animated film. It got very many awards.
And what's his name, Alina? What's his
Sergio Kotsovoulos. That's the man. The woman, it's Kotsovoulou. So it's like,
Okay.
Sergio, he directed this film, and I gave my voice to the female character. That's in English. The film was in English. So I speak English or in voiceovers for commercials. If we need in a phone center, we do that. But I don't use it every day. I wish I could do more work in English. I love it because for me, it is difficult, but it liberates my judgment. If you can understand what I'm saying. Some people cannot act in another language. I am better because I don't think my negative things,
So you don't have all those fears and frustrations and voices in your head that you have in your own accent.
Yes.
Because that switch in the brain is switched off because you're focusing on the words. That's incredible.
Yes.
That's an insight into language.
It's like if you try to speak French, or if you speak like fake French, the voice takes you somewhere, and you don't have it's like a game. So it's not like I spoke like this and I have this, you're horrible, you're fat, your head's too big.
Yeah, that's not, our voice in our head.
Yes, or why is he looking at me like that? It's like it's another game. So thank you. It's nice that you understand me, first of all.
No, we don't just understand you, Alina. You're eloquent. You have a beautiful, you can tell that you're classically trained. You've obviously learnt the art, not just of ballet, which you've had classical training and classical acting, and Greece, of course, Greek mythology and all the classics. Yes. I mean, you really do come from a fantastic backdrop there as well. And I'm so pleased to hear that you had all of that before we actually met. But what I'd love to do now, and then I want to hear what you're doing today, is go right back, if we may, right back to your childhood, Alina, and learn about, first of all, where you were born, and your parents and their influence on you as this incredible actress that you are today and singer.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So I was born in a northern suburb of Athens, which is called Kifisia. It's a nice suburb. It's considered to be, well, a bit posh, but not too much. It's like it's green. It's nice. It was a bit isolated when I was growing up. There weren't so many houses. Now there are a lot of houses there. My family is a medium family, meaning that we were not poor, but we were not rich.
Yeah.
My father had a travel agency, inherited a travel agency from his father. So he was a very talented pianist. He could play anything on the piano by ear. And half of this library is his. He loved the theater, but because he inherited the agency, he never got to do his calling.
Oh.
So I think inside he was miserable. He would play the piano in the afternoon. He would play amazing piano, anything you want. But he had the travel agencies in the 80s and 90s were making a lot of money because it wasn't internet. The flights were expensive to go abroad. So he would make some money, so he wouldn't need to pursue the talent, the gift.
Yeah.
So, when you have a gift which is so there, it's there. He would play anything on the piano with both hands, like a concert, and you don't do nothing about it. It comes back and it haunts you.
Oh.
It avenges you. So, and my mother she's a tour guide, ancient Greek guide. She studied, but she didn't work at the time because she had to raise me and my brother. My mother's mother, was an opera singer, and in the same class with Maria Callas. If you heard about Callas, which is a very famous soprano from
Yes, I
Greece.
have. Yes.
Yeah. So she was in the same class with her. So I have a lot of stories. So it was an artistic environment I grew up in. It was a artistic friendly. And also my grandmother was a big influence because my grandfather didn't let her go on the stage. So she had this passion of classical singing, the opera. So she would make me sing, dance, wear a tutu, dance for the guests, you know what I mean.
Wow.
Every weekend. So it started becoming my second nature since I was 5, 6, 7 years old. I took ballet at 8. I would love to dress up. I would love to dress up, even if since I was 6, 7 years old. Dress up, wear a wig, whatever there was in the house, I would go around like that. I was very clever. I was a good student. The thing is, though, my parents had troubles between them. So that we had, I want to say it gently because my mother is still alive. My father passed away. So we were brought up in an angry environment, in a difficult environment. And it took me many, many years of psychotherapy to be able to smile about it. But I can tell you, and I will talk about it if you want later, but talking about my childhood, I can tell you that all this anger and turmoil in the household is what makes the artist, the child to need to express something deeper, to rebel, to hone it into something better. That's why I think when I was in, I don't know how to call it, 15, 16 years old, I don't know what's the grades, that's why in the class, in Greece, there's a system nearly like your GCEs, but it's like everyone studies for it and there's nothing else. Knowledge is not knowledge, it's just exams. So we all have to go to the university. So when I was 16 and I was studying and I was really depressed because other things were going on as well, but I was really, really sad, I came across with dance therapy. Actually, a friend of my mother's, and they introduced me to dance therapy, which was primitive expression dance therapy, which is a technique with drums, barefoot, and non-verbal communication, like speaking things with not making sense, singing like yabalala dagadalala. I'm just trying to keep it short. So during this time, once a week dance therapy, all these feelings came out and I said, I'm going to be an actress. I'm not going to the university. I don't care. So the last year of school, I started studying secretly from everyone else. My fellow classmates didn't know that. I would go to the library at school and start writing. We didn't have internet. Okay, you know that. So I had to copy the old-fashioned way. You take the book, you read the play, you write your part out. If you remember this old thing, you don't have the phone, you don't screenshot, you don't type, you just write it down. Okay. Yes. So I would read some things, and then I started nagging my parents come March, April, that I'm going to be an actress. Who do you know? Who's going to tutor me? I would. So my father had a friend who is a very prestigious theatre critic and writer and philosopher, Mr. Kostas Georgosopoulos. I have to say his name because he's older now, and I feel I need to appreciate people who have helped me. So he saw me, he heard me for 2-3 times for free. And then he suggested I go to the Center of Ancient Greek Drama because he was teaching there as well. So my childhood was good. I was very, very lucky to have my brother, who was 5 years younger. My mother was very much with us, and she was very hands-on mom, strict, correct. But of course, she was very, very young. She gave birth to me when I was 24. So when I was 10 to 15, she was in her 30s, 40s. Like, if I recall now my 30s, 40s, that's very, very young.
Yes.
So my parents, bless them, they never said no to me. I mean, I had a lot of issues with my father in my teenage years. I spent 2 years not talking to him. It was a lot of hard work. But yes, I think that was a product of their relationship, not mine. When I realized that was their own love affair, which was strong and unique, I how do you call it? I got over it.
Alina, that's really good of you to share, and you've said that so eloquently to us. And I hear what you're saying. Sounds to me like you were perhaps blaming yourself for a period of time, and what you then came to the realization was that this was their love affair, this was their story, and it wasn't your fault. Am I hearing that correctly?
Yes, that's one part. And the other is I was blaming them individually, separately, towards me. Like, why is he treating me like this? Why is she like this with me? But it was them. I didn't realize until I was quite old that a lot of their behaviors towards us were just an extended thing towards each other. Like, my father was angry at my mother, he would be angry at me, and so that I could tell my mother, and vice versa. And I don't want to go into great detail, but relationships are hard. Yes. And all families have difficulties. Greek families, we are very, very close. We are different than sometimes, we will provide, we will help financially, we will smother in emotion, but that has negative emotion as well. So you feel burdened. And I, for a long time, felt responsible for the well-being of my parents, my mother's emotional support, my brother's aid. I felt, I still do sometimes, that because I was a firstborn, I was there, I was strong, so I had to cope and I have to help them, which it takes toll on you. And it sometimes, how do you call it? It puts you to bed for days on end. And when we are not working, because, our work is not all the time, sometimes, because I have this stock of burden, it's very hard for me to energize myself, to find it in myself if I'm not working, if I don't have a project, I think that's the challenge in life.
Am I hearing that you're saying when you stop and stand still, that's the issue?
Yes.
Yeah. I used to be like that. Yes.
Yes. Or I need to be still for a long time to rest. Yes. Not to sleep, but just to, and I'm happy with it. It's close to depression. It's not depression. It's resting. It's like, it's like meditating. I meditate as well. It's like having
stillness.
Yes.
It's a piece. What I'm hearing you say is that as an actor, as a performer, as I understand as well, You are running, you are on adrenaline all the time.
Yes.
It is all consuming. It is the most wonderful high of a career, but I always say also has the most terrible lows at the time where you're not working, because you are wondering where that adrenaline, where to chase it, where to get it from. That was my understanding. I don't know if you feel the same. How do you feel?
It is very well put. It's exactly that. And I can't wait to read your book, actually.
Oh,
Because I
thank you.
think it has things to say there that when I was following your journey a bit, and you know that we spoke a bit via messages,
Yes.
I could tell that there are some things that were similar, maybe to all performers. You have your own unique story, which is very unique. And what is very unique about you is the way you handle it, which is not common. And it's very inspiring, Cathy. I have to say it. I know it's my interview, but I haven't seen you in 25 years. I have to say this. It is inspiring that you exude this power from inside to move forward, to live, and to live well, and to inspire others, to help others, which is, I think, actors, artists are healers. That's what I'm telling my students. We are healers. That's what we are here to do. In every way we can, we will find it if we look. And I think it is what you say, adrenaline and the highs and lows. And when you are in the lows, you go back to the childhood lows. That's why I connect. You go back to the trauma. But as you grow older, as I grew older, I was very happy and lucky to have blessings other than the work, which is amazing, but you have to have small other things to fill your life so that your heart is full. But it's a challenge, you know. It is.
What I'm hearing you say is that you need to have that balance. That's the word that seems to transcend all of these podcasts, where people, I have healers and scientists and doctors on, as well as entertainers, international artists. And it's interesting that everybody has been through something. We all have a story to tell. And I open my book with that. Everybody has a story to tell, and it's all basically equally valid. It's just that not everybody has the opportunity to tell it. And this is the purpose of today's podcast, Alina, so that everybody has these opportunities all over the world. I mean, the power of this internet, as much as I say phones and advanced technology can be detrimental in many ways, the great thing is that we've got this wonderful opportunity today, both in our 50th year, if I'm allowed to share your age, because you don't look anything like 50.
Of course, I say it, of course. It's documented because I went to drama school at 17 and a half. So everyone knows, I graduated in 1994. I was 20 years old. So I was born in 1974. So it's
same as me. Fantastic. Well,
yes.
that's amazing. And the other thing was that you exude love. That's really, really important. I love sharing these types of conversations today, because when you've been through, as you said, trauma or personal circumstances, of which are unique to every individual, once you are in a position where you're more able to cope and understand and empathize why these particular events occurred, well, then you're in a more powerful position, as you've just explained, to be able to help and share your story so that it will help others. And you won't be surprised to hear that anybody hearing your story today, I'm sure, Alina, will be absolutely inspired by all that you are sharing. And it's a pay it forward response. So if you can help others, as you are doing with your vocal coaching, you know, you were the little girl that was being supported by the gentleman who I can't remember his name.
That's Kostas Georgosopoulos, yes.
Kostas Georgosopoulos, is that right?
You're not gonna get it.
I thought you were going to say well done. That was my best ever try. But
okay.
But no. So what you're saying is Kostos, is that correct?
Costas, yes, Mr.
Costas.
Costas. Say
So
Mr. Costas.
Costas was your influence, and now, Alina, you are others' influence, and we don't realise when we are the teacher just how influential we are to others. It's only really when later down the line, when they're in their 30s and 40s and 50s, that they will look back and they'll remember all the brilliance that you brought to the table, Alina, and the joy and the wit and your experiences. And they will want to be, I'm sure, very much like you and aspire to go to the UK and train and go on.
Yeah, that's what I'd love for everyone to go to training in the UK. Actually, I don't want them to be like me. I'm a tutor, an acting coach, that I see you and I want you to be the best version of you.
Good.
I like to, I'm very observative. I listen, I watch you, I give you advice, I give you exercises, but I am tailoring it to you. I don't want anyone to be like me because I'm unique, but I want the best versions of themselves. And that's, I think, I mean, it's very nice of you to say, and I loved coaching and tutoring and of course acting. And it is not always very easy because there's a lot of resistance, as in therapy. When you hit something difficult, you resist it. You don't want to go inside. The same in acting. When there's a hard part, when you don't want to expose yourself in a way, I hit walls with some of my students. And because I'm new to now it's the second year I'm teaching large groups of freshman actors. So that's 20, 25 people. So it's a lot of kids to cater to specifically, And sometimes I hit walls and I try to, and I am strict. Maybe I seem very cute now, but when we're working, I want the work done. So when you have difficult subjects, such as I did last year, an introduction to an ancient tragedy, which was a very nice course. But some of the students said, no, it's too soon. Why should we do tragedy in the first term? Why? I don't want to do it. I cannot do it. I cannot remember the line. Should we learn it by heart? And I said, I don't know. You're going to be an actor. I think you should start learning by heart. So then you have to go on being not likable because you want the job done. And then this September, a student came and said, I followed a workshop during the summer in the National Theatre for tragedy. Oh, very well. How was that? It was exactly what you told us. Okay, yes, great. And I was the best in the class because I knew all this stuff. I said, I'm not making it up. I've been trained to do it. It's not in my head. I'm not, please, trust me. It's like, but it's what you say. They will come afterwards. It will.
I was going to say, and that the respect was there because when people are learning, they're absorbing like sponges, particularly children and teenagers. And I would say into your 20s, I think. I was certainly in that bracket as well. I was really still learning, still exploring into my 20s, and I think that resonates. We are like sponges. We're learning so much all the time, and we still continue to learn until we draw our last breath. Of course we do. But I think what you're saying is that particular day, that child, that teenager respected you. And that's the key, I think, Alina, to connection and community and all the things that in the past 4 or 5 years that have disbanded for different reasons. We need to reconnect each other. And if we respect somebody, we hear them. And if we there's a difference between listening and hearing. Yes. And if we truly listen, as the girl did, I think it was a girl you said, student.
It was a woman, actually. She was a bit older. It was a woman, and she was very nice to say it to me because maybe she could have kept it to herself, but she gave me credit, which was very nice.
And I think that's so important as well. And, you know, I'm somebody that always, certainly when I was running my drama school, I always gave high praise, and I'm sure you do, to encourage people to be the best them, as you quite rightly said. And that's what life's about. And I think that sometimes perhaps in some people may be missing. So if you're similar to myself, maybe you didn't feel that love within yourself, and I certainly didn't. But
Yeah.
my goodness, it can make you a hard worker, as you quite rightly said. It can make you focused and energetic and go for your dream, because perhaps you want that adoration on the stage. That was certainly what I felt. I didn't love myself enough. And when I was on stage, particularly as a stand-up comedian, I thought, well, if I can make people laugh, then that's my love. And I don't know if that transcends and resonates with you in any way.
I am, well, my performance story, it's a bit, for me, it was mostly about expression. I wanted to get it out, you know, to
Yes.
let it out, of course. And that's why I do less theater now, because I have also a child which is 9 years old. So I in the afternoon I want to be with her, and I love being with her.
Oh,
Theater in Greece is very demanding. The season is very long. You know, you have no weekends. You have no leisure time. We don't have understudies, so you cannot get sick. You cannot have a holiday for 2 weeks. It's not like the West End that you have a contract and you can, well, not everyone goes in the West End, but anyway. So
but I think even in the West End, Alina, there's no break time. And once you are in the West End, you've got 10 o'clock in the morning rehearsals with a brand new cast that's taken over. So that is quite similar, I hear. But what you're saying is in Greece, it's even more so, where there's just no you time. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, it's not easy for family time.
Right.
Which is fine. I do it. I have support from my family. I can do it, but I don't want to at this time. I mean, I don't want to. I don't choose it. I prefer to find income from other sources for my child to grow. And I don't need this. Maybe this feeling better with myself.
Yeah.
I like to play, I like to act. There are days that I want to perform, I want to go on stage, but for myself and to make other people happy. So, I mean, I want to go on the stage, so to make people happy, not to make people love me, because now I'm quite happy with myself.
And
but
Would you agree, Alina, that in the past, it was perhaps a different feeling similar to mine? Did you feel in the past that you wanted something to prove?
To prove I don't know. It's like a workout, Cathy. It's like you need to go to the gym to get the sweat out. I don't know how, you go there and then you're done.
It's like being on stage, you mean? Being on stage.
Yes.
Right. So yes, I would totally agree. And in fact, by day, as you've read, I would do a Zumba class in my rest time instead of read a book. Now I'm full of a library of books like your house. So I think what I'm hearing you say is you're just chasing the next exciting thing, like the sweet in a jar. What's next, and where's the next bit of excitement? And you're full of adrenaline. And how was it for you?
Well, now I'm not so much. It's really simmered down. What I found is, as television started coming in my life, this changed, because there's a completely different function for me.
Yes.
The difference is, first of all, in the theater, all day leads up to the evening. So it's an athlete's day.
Yeah.
Every day. So we speak now, and I'm thinking that I have to eat something, what my stomach is, what my chamomile tea, what my honey, there's something in the back of your head leading towards tonight.
Yes.
Now, because I have nothing to do tonight, this is my focus.
I couldn't agree more. You have just phrased that better than I ever could. Yes.
So, well, I will pick my child up, I will take her to the dances, but I will not have to be good singer, dancer. The TV job, all the TV jobs, which I love television, I love the cinema, because it's a grand team effort. There's a lot of technical things, and all of us are equal. And because in the theater, you get to have a bigger ego, not equal, we have parts, you have leads, you have second parts, but it's the director of photography, the director, the guy that brings you the cable, everything. So it's a morning job. It's very technical. You have to repeat 10 times to do one scene. It's not, even if the best scene, you cried, but they didn't get it, so you have to do it again. So it's more balanced for me, for my persona. And then I finish, and then I can go to the grocery store and get my groceries and go and cook and be a person.
Yes.
Whereas in the theater, you are a different kind of creature, which I love. I've done it since I was 17 years old. I'm taking a small hiatus from the theater. My body misses it. I have 10 kilos on me because I miss it, because it's the stage, it's the stage, it's the acting, the action. But I am exploring other things as well.
Well, what I'm hearing you say is you, like myself, and perhaps like many artists out there, we were, as young children, as aspiring young actors, performers, we were just so excitable. Everything was a challenge, and actually, you and I, people like us, we like high challenges, and we set ourselves high goals, and that's another thing as well. And when you are a high achiever, and you want to grab as much as you possibly can and are excited by it all, as you've quite rightly said, when that isn't there, it's a very strange feeling, because your brain has been it's not just the physical act. What I've learnt with my health condition, it's not just the brain is overacted physically and the body. If you are constantly thinking, which is what you've just highlighted, and if I had a gig tonight, as you've just said, you're thinking, well, I've got to keep watching the clock, because at 4 o'clock I have to get in the car, I have to drive over to the show, which might be 3 hours drive to get there in the UK, and then a 3-hour drive back in the middle of the night, and then running your own drama school by day. So there was no switch off. And then I might, for a joy, paint 30 garden fences.
Yes, that's you, not me. I dry the plants. I am a dryer. I am horrible with, I am like, give me a forest, I will dry it out.
But I think what I have had to learn to do is the word delegate. So to delegate, to give somebody else that job, because when people over the last 11 years I've been poorly have been helping me, I'd have a painter painting the fence, and I'd think, well, that was my day job before I then went on the stage. So it's been a very interesting unpacking for me personally to realise just how much I was doing. So that man will paint the fences by day, and then he'll go and have his tea and switch off at night. And what I'm hearing you say is, on the stage, particularly if you've got sometimes 2 to 3 performances a day, you can't switch off. And also, if you do switch off, you forget your words. So there's a real pressure that perhaps people don't understand, because it looks such an easy profession, but it's the hardest.
And it's not, because also now, as you said, I was in a TV series which was very, very popular the last 3 years. A very, very popular TV series. So people would stop me in the streets. Now they know who I am. I've been on TV shows, done stuff for promoting this TV series. So it's not only acting, but you have to live up to an expectation. You cannot, it's not only the craft, but also I have this fear, you have to be good. You have to
be nice. You have to be nice all the time and happy all the time.
you're not happy all the time. You're not nice all the time. I had a girl, I was in a, where was I? I don't remember. I was having a sandwich and there was a girl saying, and I was like, this girl coming, oh, you are this girl playing in this series. And she doesn't, I'm like chewing. My mouth is full. Okay. So I'm like, nice. So it's very nice. Are you, she starts talking to me, waiting for me to finish to swallow and expecting for me to indulge to a conversation. And I felt so violated, say air quotes, like that was really someone in my face, a nice girl.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm like, yes, okay, thank you.
Yes.
People, it's our job. I don't judge it, but
It
is
became what I'm hearing you say is what started as an exciting career, when you get to those heights, can become perhaps all consuming, where you haven't got that rest time to have your lunch. And perhaps what she should have done was, maybe it was a reactional thing, like the excitement of it. But it's the same if you finish a production and people are lined up with flowers and wanting to meet you at the stage door, of a similar vein as well. And it's all lovely. But as you're saying, there's no switch off button.
Yes, and there's time. Okay, when we're after a production, that there are people waiting. You will go, you'll say hello, you'll be nice, and then you'll go and have a drink. But when you're having the drink and eating, it's something that we as artists wouldn't do. Even who is your Kenny Rogers? You wouldn't go when he was chewing a steak. You would wait for him to finish.
I think, yes, I understand what you're saying. And yeah, and that's to some, that would be a very exciting thing to happen. But what I'm hearing you say is, when that becomes consistent, it must be very, very difficult. And I think you can therefore empathize with a lot of other professionals in the business. So what I'm hearing you say, Alina, is it's all very exciting, and that's all the highs of the business. But for anybody watching, just to be mindful that if somebody is in the middle of eating or wanting that private down.
No, there were some incidents that really alarmed me. But imagine, this was a really big TV hit. It was like,
Are you allowed to share, Alina, what the show is, in case anybody wants to watch?
Yes, of course. The show is called Sasmos. This word means reconciliation.
Oh.
The end of the vendetta. It is set in Crete, Crete, the island.
Yes.
We're in a village where there are two families, like Romeo and Juliet. It's like a modern day Cretan Greek Romeo and Juliet. So the two families, rural, very rural. I was the wife of the coffee owner.
What was your character called, Alina?
Anna. I was playing Anna, and I'm the mother of two children, 20 years old and 17. And my husband has the coffee shop of the village. So we see everyone, we cater to everyone. I was very sweet, submissive, typical island and village woman, but also a bit smiling, but also trying to keep all the, the balance.
Yes.
So because everyone comes in the coffee shop, the kafenio, the cafe as you call in Greek. So everyone will come in the coffee shop. So you have to keep a balance between the vendetta and the vendetta means people killing each other. So there were families, people killing people. So it was a dark, strong series. It wasn't like a fairy tale, soap opera, but I mean, it's a daily show. So it was a very nice experience. It was for 3 years. It just ended this summer. It was a very nice experience, and people loved us. I'm not being pompous. I'm not being egotistic or narcissistic. They loved us. They felt, because it was in a village and it was plain, they felt really, really intimate with us, really close. They could see that I was the coffee owner. I was the girl next door. I was the mother of they would speak to me like, in the character's part name, like Anna. How do you stand your husband? What's your daughter doing? Like, and when I understood that was filmed during the second year of the pandemic. So we were on and off in the pandemic, the second year. So the second year of the pandemic and the first year of the series, I remember I was in a grocery store with my mask and my hair up, and they would recognize me. So I would say that's really intimate.
Yes.
I couldn't recognize me going outside with the pajamas and, just grabbing something.
Wow.
So that was a strong experience in many, many levels. Of course, I have to tell you, as we are intimate and friendly, that as you know from your craft, any job, and television job, is a very hard area to thrive. It's a very difficult and very competitive environment. Now, the one is like the happiness and the achievement and the success of a good show, but the behind the scenes, you always have it's a strong battle. Yes. It's a very difficult, because as in everywhere, there are a lot of actors and many few jobs. Yeah. So and no matter how well known you are, you have to audition for the next part, because also your standard rises. So yes. You don't go back. You try not to go back to a smaller part or a smaller production or a less money or whatever that is. So it's a challenge to have all this awareness on knowing what to do. It's not about acting. It's about being a producer, actually, which is the hard for me. That's the hardest thing. It's not learning my line and going outside. It's to face all the challenges that go behind the scenes.
Yes. I really like the way that you've just expressed that. And I think you have expressed that beautifully, Alina. You've shown today just how difficult it is to get to the top, because I would say the position you just got would be many people's dream and aspiration to achieve. Yes. And on that note, talking about being the aspiring young actor, let me just take this opportunity to...
I know you, it's Tinker. I know you. Hello, my dear.
You see, even the television actress in Greece knows who you are, Tinks.
I know who you are. I love you.
He loves you too, and he's my little mascot here that's watching intimately every single time. And so he's wanting to get down. So I thought I'll introduce you there, Alina.
Yes, thank you.
And so, yeah, basically what you're saying is the business it's got all the highs and the excitement of the job and being on the television set. And I'm sure that was extremely rewarding. But what you're saying is you've also got the hardships of where's my next job coming from, and the competition element and all of that as well. So there's a lot of, and then self-doubt, which, every person has on this planet, never mind every performer, but it becomes magnified on the stage because you're being told, you're too short, you're too this, you're too that.
Every day. That's every day. And also in our craft, as you know, this job doesn't guarantee the next one.
Yes.
Whereas in other jobs, you do this job and you'll be a junior, a senior, a partner, an owner. You cater tables, you manage the restaurant, you own the restaurant. Here, it's every day, it's a new day, which is amazing on the one hand, because it keeps us young, but also, oh my God, can it become a bit more easy, please?
Yes, okay. It's exhausting. what I'm
Yes.
hearing you say is it's mentally and physically challenging, but also mentally and physically exhausting. And that little voice in your head is the bit that entertainers often, until the day they die, they don't switch off. And what I have found myself is this magnificent modality, as you've just mentioned earlier, of meditation, which is free, easily accessible, and I would highly recommend that every single person on this planet learns to breathe and learns to meditate, because as we get more and more adrenalized, for me personally, all my breathing was upper respiratory breathing, so I was always in a panic, and so the smallest of events that occur would become huge in my mind. And I think what's really important to share today, Alina, is what you've also said, finding the balance. So even if you do continue your career in this crazy world of entertainment, finding the balance. And I love that you have prioritized your daughter. And can I ask what your daughter's name is?
Yes, her name is Nafsika.
Nafsika.
Yes, which is from it's from Homer's Odyssey. It's the princess of Corfu that Ulysses goes to in the end, and she gives him the ship to go back to Ithaca. So it's
Fantastic. Nafsika, what a beautiful
she,
name.
thank you. She's nice.
And is she
I'm
following
happy.
in your footsteps, Alina? Is she
Well,
following in your footsteps?
Well, she's very clever, which is from my husband. She's very clever in a shop way. How much does it cost? How I'm gonna do that? So that's good. I'm relieved in that matter. I was in a show this year, like how do you call it? Just the two of us. You know the show, a singing show that was in a
Yes.
competition. So she came backstage in this show, and she's very critique. She looks in depth in everything, and now she wants to go to junior Eurovision contest, which we don't have in Greece now. So she considers going to stay in her godfather's house in England for 2 years. That's imagination. She's not going to do it, but she dances every day. She doesn't want to be an actress. She wants to be a singer. I don't know what she wants to do, but I'm not doing anything at home. We don't have TV. She doesn't watch me play. I'm not imposing my talents on her. I'm trying very hard not to be, you won't see pictures of me in the house with my acting things, like a diva. No, I'm nowhere to be found, but I'm
Wow.
here. But I'm
Well,
here.
I was just going to say, you are incredibly humble, and that is an attribute as well. You've obviously achieved great heights in your career as well. And I had the lovely Siga on the show.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you'll learn that next year, because you'll both be aired at a similar time. And Siga was in our class, and she was a finalist in. She's amazing, and she was a finalist entrant in the Eurovision. So speaking of that with your daughter.
My daughter, I'll make them speak.
Absolutely. And like yourself, she's gone on to do incredible things as well. And you've both had such a colourful career. It's a real pleasure to speak to you both. It really is. And we've also had Jamie Beamish.
Yes.
He's also been on the show, and he's doing incredible things as well. He was in Derry Girls and Bridgerton, and he sends his love to you all.
I loved it. I supported him. I put him on Facebook. I reposted. I'm so proud. It's like I was as happy as if it was me. I'm like, he's one of us. I was so happy for him.
That's exactly how I feel as well. And I think we were very blessed. It was a family, and A Fiddler on the Roof in particular, with you taking that lead role at the Yvonne Arnaud Theatre in Guildford. It was such a privilege. And, I don't have your incredible memory where you can learn all of that script. I played the grandma, and I did my cameo and went off.
You are very good.
But the point is, you have that incredible memory, as you're showing today as well, of people's names and places, and that's a gift in itself, Alina. To be able to store that much inside your brain is just incredible. So
good. I need to use it for good though, and not store the bad things as well. That's the
Well,
trauma.
on that note, is there anything you would like to share? Because I don't want to run out of time today. Is there anything that you would like to share today that you feel might help others that might be going through something similar, Alina?
Well, I think that therapy is number one. Don't be afraid. Go. And if one doesn't work, go to another. I was very lucky with my primary therapist. I had a therapy and group therapy for 10 years. And now I'm seeing some other spiritual guiders like crystal therapy,
Love that.
yeah, I believe it. I don't know. It's like it helps. It helps to talk about things, and you need to seek for professionals who know their
Yes.
craft. Don't be afraid. Ask for help. Ask, because it's not the same like talking to your friend. Therapy is a completely different thing. It's because I say I have my friends, I don't need it. If you are struggling, you need it. If we are struggling, as if you have back pain, you'll go to the orthopedic. Why? If your soul hurts, go and start to. That's my view, and I'm not happy every day. It's not, but I have found a way to return to my safe spot. I have a safe place inside me now that I can return to, where I was really, really scared to keep still and be alone as well. Whereas now, well, okay, I enjoy my company. I'm happy with myself. I'm okay. I'm I'm not afraid, which is which is a shift. It is a different thing. So that's
And
about.
was there anything in particular, Alina, that led you to feel this way, or was it just the ups and downs of your theatre world?
No, it wasn't from the theater. It was nothing, it had nothing to do with the theater. The theater as a choice is an outcome of my traumatic persona. That I think the choice of the performer, the need to express, the need to, all this struggle, all this thing, that was a result of the trauma. Well, the trauma for me was the biggest part of it, as I explained before, was from my childhood and family environment. All these circumstances, a lot having to do with the things happening in my house, led to my trauma and me seeking therapy, and me seeking the theater and then seeking therapy, because some of the things, I will say that, were coming to my life repeatedly. Some of the bad choices that I would imitate, some of the things I'd seen, some of the struggles, some things that were inherited but not mine. So that's what led me to theater and then to therapy, because it took me a lot of. I returned from Guildford in 2002, and I started therapy in 2004. So that was a bit after that. So yes, and we're not healed. Okay, it's a process. It never ends. It's like you have to keep your body well, your mind well, your reading well, that as well. But it changes. The necessity is not so strong. I'm not so dependent on therapy.
And for me, I felt that it was an unmasking. So for me personally, I felt that I was always wearing a strong, confident mask and tried to look and feel indestructible, but actually inside the duck legs were paddling. And
Yeah.
once you actually take the mask off, which was my journey, you can then completely relax. And once you go through that experience, does this resonate with you in any way, that you felt that you could be your congruent self, is how we phrase it over here, your fully functioning self that's at peace and more able to help other people and live a better life?
Well, I haven't analyzed it so eloquently, but I was very happy to meet a very good partner. That was in my last the last 2 years of therapy, which means I was ready to make a better emotional choice for myself.
Yes.
And then to start I was very happy to be able to start a family, because I had my daughter when I was 41 years old. So that's, and naturally with no assistance, which is fine if you do, but I'm just sharing. So that was a big change for me, to have and create a calm family environment for myself,
I see what you're saying.
and
Yes.
to have awareness about it, because it's not easy. It's not a gift. It is a gift to find the right person, but you work for it. You are aware of the choices you make, and then you are aware of the house that you make, and that's for me is stronger than my career. The terrain, the area where myself, my partner, my daughter will be safe, and as far as I'm concerned, and myself as well, to feel loved and secure, which is something that was not given to me in the way I needed it. I'm not saying that we were not loved. We were loved. That's, but I told you before about the Greek love, you know. So for me, this awareness brings me back to myself. If things go wrong, you have fights, you have misunderstandings, everyone is different, but this is my priority, my family life, myself in my family life, as a working woman, which is a child,
This is a lot of plates that you spin, but
Yes.
beautifully spinning them now. So instead of it, the erraticness of the loss of understanding and where am I going and seeking support, what I hear you saying is that you have unpacked over the years, so graciously expressed there as well, Alina. You've unpacked over the years your story, where it came from, and you've reached a place of forgiveness and understanding and empathy with your family, and what you have.
We're all trying every day. We're trying, but
Yes.
it is inside me. It's better.
Yes, and
You know.
that's the point. The healing, I always say, is from within. And that is exactly the purpose of today's podcast, because a lot of people, ourselves included in our lives, we often look for others to save us. Or, as I said, sometimes we look up to people like yourself in your career, and you're highlighting, don't look up to me, find your own voice. Absolutely admire what you're doing, but find your own voice, find your own sense of worth.
Yeah.
And once you heal from within, as you say, and I was explaining there too, once you heal from within, the power is all yours, because there's an innate sense of freedom. Once you unpack why you're in trauma, what those traumas are, and you're able to, I call it, put them in a suitcase and put them away, you're more able to have a fully functioning adult to adult connection with your partner, and make for yourself that safe cotton wool home environment for your little girl, so that they don't go through the same process and traumas that perhaps you went through, which weren't consciously something that your parents were aware of. It was there, just it was an unconscious way. But what you're saying is you've become consciously aware because of that reflection, so that you can give your daughter an easier, safer, happier environment to thrive, and perhaps opportunities to communicate better that maybe you didn't have back then. Am I hearing that correctly?
Yes, you're spot on. It's absolutely correct, and I couldn't agree more with you. That's the point for me. I mean, I don't know if it's for everyone, but I am in this way. I am content, and my soul is at peace. That's the thing. When you feel your soul, in a place at peace. But it is work. I have to say that because you have audiences. It doesn't happen magically. There's no magic wand. You have to do the work. I'm sorry. You have to do the exercises in order to sing. You know.
100%. So what I'm hearing you say is just like a fully focused entertainer that's got the ballet class at 9 o'clock in the morning, when you're tired and it's cold and it's snowing, you also have to put that effort, I believe, until we draw our last breath, in our healing process, in aligning ourselves as we have today with beautiful people like yourself over there in Greece, who are on the same journey, on the same understanding, and have had those, who has that innate wisdom to be able to take all of those qualities that you've learned through your life and offer those to your own daughter. And that's beautiful to hear. So so you take that forward. What's your thoughts to the audience today? How would you inspire somebody that's going through trauma to find that help? What would you guide them to do, Alina?
Well, I don't know. It's different for everyone, but I definitely would advise that it's not very easy. Try not to shy away from it.
Yeah.
Try to read, find a practitioner close to you, get a recommendation, ask for a friend to take you or to advise if you feel stuck, if you feel have someone take you by the hand, maybe, and just go, try. And it's not easy because when you're, say, if you're depressed, if you're upset, you feel that nothing's going to help you. But I would say, you have to believe. You have to see. I've heard that once from another lady, a photographer. We met in a holiday before I met my husband, and I was like I was like a bit, not depressed, but not, and I didn't have a job at the time. I was like, and she said, she wasn't a friend, but just met. She said, you have to believe that there's a light in the end of the tunnel.
Yes. Yeah.
You have to believe it. And I don't know why. She told me this thing, and I put it, and it was a matter of 2 weeks I met my husband, but it's not that, because, and it was so weird. She said it, even if she was hurting, she was in a difficult place. But when we're upset, it's very difficult to get help. We need to be open to it, to say even a small thing, and let's say, yes, shall we go out and have a walk? Yes, let's. The pandemic made it very, very difficult for me to go out now for a walk, because we would go out and walk in the pandemic. Remember, we could go around the block with now, if I walk around the block, I remember about the pandemic. So I wrote myself in a gym to go on a treadmill, because I don't want, I have associated walking around my neighborhood with the pandemic. It's things that go,
Wow.
It's like the brain is really weird. And I'm very, very lazy, Cathy. You seem like I'm very lazy. If I don't have a project, I'm lazy. So I have to walk, I have to move my body, but I find excuses. And now my excuse is, this is the pandemic. And of course, it was a stressful time.
Yeah.
But for me, it was okay. Why? Now that you mention it, because it was an adrenaline period. It was something, there was a danger. There was something outside attacking us. So I was well, because I thrive in these conditions.
I was just going to say, that's what I was saying earlier about the addiction to adrenaline, perhaps fear. whatever it is as well. I used to love horror films. I was always
Yes, I'll go to the pharmacy. I'll go to the soup. I'll wear the mask.
almost like we were living in a panic. And I feel that that's how I lived my entire life, which was like a bullet out of a gun. Oh, there's something over there to do. Right. Well, I better paint that first, and then I'll go and lift heavy weights in a gym, and then I'll go, and then I'll go. And what I have learnt to do in this past 11 years and been forced to do in my personal case is to sit still, because for me personally, I now get more happiness and joy, Alina, and I can honestly say this now. I can meditate for up to 3 hours, sat with my back up against a tree, with holding Tinker, my little dog, in the woods in the middle of nowhere with nobody around.
Wow.
And because I have electromagnetic sensitivity, going into the woods, I can actually I can feel electricity decharging from my system, because that's the joy of trees. And this incredible energy, this energy that I didn't know you could tap into unless you were actually physically or mentally doing something. And that's what I want to share today, the absolute joy that comes from meditation. And I would advise and recommend anybody 5-10 minutes a day. I started with an audio meditation because that was my easiest way into it. Again, I needed music playing in my ears night and day. And now I can move in silence. I can sit in silence completely alone and feel completely.
You're a guru. You are a guru.
Oh, bless you.
You're a sage now.
Say that again, Alina.
You're a guru. You're a sage now. That's it. You're on the top of the pyramid.
Oh, no, I'm sure there's a long way to go. But the most important thing is, I think that if I hadn't been physically forced into that, I very much doubt if I'd got better within 3 or 4 months, I would still be whizzing and spinning my wheels off. So like you meeting your husband, and I also met my loving partner, Mark Singleton, who's been my guru. He's taught me many of these modalities. He's a Tai Chi instructor and he's a healer of ME. He gets me better on a weekly basis. He helps with my condition. He's now trained in healing. And I think that God or spirits or whatever our beliefs aligns us, as your husband was aligned to meet you, at the right time. And found it's that submission, because literally, like you, about 3 weeks before I physically collapsed, I got on my knees and prayed in the garden and said, I can't do this anymore. I am exhausted. And please give me, I said, a year off, just a year to recharge, because I obviously knew that I was about to collapse. I was so poisoned because I had carbon monoxide poisoning, etc. But I knew that I was so ill. I said, please just give me a year. And I got 11 years. So be careful what you pray for and wish for. But obviously I needed it because my system was just so overworked, very, very poisoned as well. But in this 11 years, Alina, I've aligned myself with beautiful people like you today. Perhaps projects that I may not have had the opportunity to do. And we often meet people, they get on the train with us and then we say goodbye and we might meet them again. But what's beautiful about both of our journeys is we're able, as you said, to be able, like today, to live in the moment. What a joy. What a joy to just be listening to each other and not distracted.
That's amazing. That's very good. And I'm very happy that we meet after the summer will be 25 years since we parted. So it's very exciting, and for me, it's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. It's fantastic. And although I was really sad to witness your journey at the beginning, because I've seen some of your in Facebook, I'm very, very happy, and I was always praying and sending love, and I know it works. I'm so positive about it. And sometimes when you are not well, it's easy for me to send you this energy, and I know when I'm not well, some people, it's weird, when I'm the worst, when I'm very, very bad, my best friends from school call me. Since I was 10, 11, it's so weird.
Isn't it?
It's like they pick up a signal
Yeah.
that we don't see each other. We see each other once a year, once in 2 years, once in three. We don't have a daily contact. But sometimes when I'm the worst, like alarm clock things, it's so weird that you have some connections with people and spiritual connections that are never gone, even if you're not in each other's lives. So I think if we are all struggling, Cathy, the life is a struggle. And I've been following a healer, weird. I mean, and she says that she believes in other dimensions and other things. I don't know if I believe it, but she says that Earth is a school.
Oh, I like that.
Yes, so we choose to come to Earth. Not all souls come to Earth. Not all souls want to. We come to Earth to learn. So this is a school. So don't wait for it to be easy. You have to learn.
Wow.
So
I like that. That's
yes,
amazing.
I will send you
Yes,
some of her
please.
videos. I mean, she's strong. The teachings are, I'm not sure, are for everyone, but the thing that this is a school and you learn things, as you said, till our last draw of breath. It's a different mindset when things are going bad or difficult, or you can say, I said to a friend, I'm not a producer, I don't do it well, because I used to do small productions and it completely burned me out completely. And she said, not yet, you're not yet, we're not yet there, there yet, there's that, I haven't done this and that, not yet. So maybe there are things to learn, there are things to explore, but since we all struggle and since life is difficult, and because of all this information, you see a lot of also toxic, you have a lot of toxic images and news. And of course, they were always like that. All the world was always, it has good and bad, but now you know it all.
Yes.
Some people are too sensitive to handle it. It's not easy. So I'd say, I don't know what's the best way to get help or inspiration, but nature, of course, is. Nature is a big healer, and just going for a walk, listening to a bird. For me, I listen to birds. I speak to the birds.
I do. I feed them in the garden and talk to them.
Was waiting for my daughter, and there was a wait. I said, okay, what do you want? There was a bird speaking to me, like consistently. I said, what is it? What do you want?
I'm with you on that. Yes.
So a walk and art not as performance, art as in drawing, as a museum, things to do, small things that you can do even before therapy, small little thingies to go to do for you with your friend. And then don't be afraid. I don't know what's the situation where you live. I don't know if there's a community where you can go and get some help for free or for low cost, because that's also uh, it's also a good excuse. At the beginning, we say we don't have money for therapy.
Yes.
I have money for the gym. I have money, but even so, if there are facilities or communities that can host, I mean, it's a process. I don't know. I don't know.
What I love about speaking to you today, Alina, is you've got lots and lots of wisdom and obviously lots of great connections that you've made in your professional life and also in your private life. And you embody our podcast, which is all about entertainment and health. And that's so beautiful about today's discussion. And what I want to say today, to conclude, is yes, let's. which we learnt at drama school. If somebody, what I'm hearing you say is that if somebody says, no, I can't, or that's too difficult, or perhaps tomorrow, yes, let's allows you to do it today, and then go and do the art and any sort of healing modality that brings peace and love within, instead of perhaps racing through life and doing what's expected. Make time in the day, every day, to meditate, to draw, to paint, and to light up yourself from within. And the other thing I heard you say was your lovely, empowering friend, who I hope might like to come onto our podcast. That would be a wonderful opportunity for myself and the audience to hear from her own words, if she'd like to. And what did she say again? What was her phrase? Not yet. She said, not yet.
Oh, not yet.
So you embellish on that to conclude today, Alina. And also, could you give us some last words of inspiration for anybody that wants to, as I say, follow in your footsteps, but find their own self, but also in the healing footsteps as well as the entertainment? And thank you for your time today. So you share your last words here.
I'm very, very happy, and I'm honored that you invited me. Feel very happy and blessed to see you and see how lovely you are and how wise you are. And I think that to conclude, art is life. Life is art. We are healers. Everyone has a healer inside him. Just try to take time every day for yourselves, even start meditating, cook something, make something different every day, and ask for help, ask for advice, ask. Everything is out there. You need to go out there and ask for everything you need. And yes, I am a big fan of the arts, any kind of art, poetry, reading, literature, dance, of course, the opera. I love it. I now train I returned to the classical singing training because I acted in an operetta 5 years ago, and I'm doing other things as well. So it's never too late to learn things you love, and the crafts and the clay, and do things that make sense to you. And I think that healing is something that happens in one night, but in a long run.
Yes, you make the decision to change first,
yes. and
then the changes happen. Would you agree with that?
Yes, of course.
And I feel that for me personally, it was a case of running towards things all my life. And once I step back, the opportunities start to come to us. Yes. Would you agree?
That's a very good advice, which I will take now from you, and I will try to embrace the stillness and try. I mean, I have been really inspired today with you. And it's always nice when you meet old friends that they connect you with a previous self of yours, and they remind you of who you were, the good and the bad, because I remember my hardships. Maybe I didn't share it with you. You remember my good traits, and I can now rebalance this and take this to a next level. But
what I hear you're saying is that you had your own vision of yourself as a youngster, as I did.
Yes.
And perhaps a negative vision, as most youngsters have as part of growing up. And what I hear you say is, by today's podcast, we've both shared the enormous qualities that we saw in each other that perhaps we didn't see in ourselves, and it's taken to the age of 50 to start to understand and build and smile and think, okay, I wasn't those things because somebody else saw something different. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, exactly. That's it. And also some personal issues that might have been troubling me then are not anymore. And some things are not my drive, maybe my ambition is not there so much anymore, but I think it's more round. Your view on me and my view on myself, it's rounder and it's more concrete. And I would say that every age is different, and 50s is another turning point for women as well, or hormonally as well, or balance. That's a lot of changing happening in my body as well. I have struggles inside me and outside, but I think that what I want to say to people, we all struggle. We all have daily, how to say, disbelief, but you have to have one pinch more of the positive, a bit more of the, it will pass, feel safe, create your space, create your inner space. And as you say, it will come, things will come to you.
And I will conclude today by saying what an inspiration you have been on today's podcast, all the way from Greece. And I wish you and your beautiful family all the very best ahead. And I hope to reconnect with you more now. And this has just been the beginning of a beautiful reconnection together. And I want to also say that your last words are, yes, let's. And if fears come, I can't do it, not now. Yes, let's, and not now, to conclude today. And I'll leave the very final words with you, Alina. Thank you so much for your time.
Cathy, I love you. I want to see you again. Thank you very, very much. And please come to Greece. Come everyone. That's a good therapy. Sun, islands, Greece.
I would absolutely love to. And God bless you. Thank you for today, Alina, and all the very, very best ahead. And I can't wait to hear more of what you're up to. Thank you again for your time. God bless.